Next up, we have Kevin from Perplex, and come on up.
Hi everyone. So as some of you know, we are building, I'm the founder of Perplex. We are building a perpetual exchange based on AO. And so it involved building the matching engine, as well as the liquidation engine. And finally, it will involve, because it's not built yet, to build a decentralized market making with community-owned liquidity. And today I'm here to talk to you more in depth about market making, because talking about projects here, what I've seen is listing a token can be a bit stressful maybe. People don't really know what is market making. It's often a black box. They don't know really like how to talk with them, how to what they are supposed to do, what they are supposed to track, and by the way, why would I need a market maker, right? So this presentation is about market making. And so, what is it? So here, I think every one of you recognized an order book here. So it's represented here as a depth view. And as you know, you have the bid side on the left, the ask side on the right, and you have the spread in the middle. So the spread is the difference between the bid and the ask. And you have like the mid price, which is usually the price that is written on CoinMarketCap and stuff, that is in the middle. The problem is, so this is a healthy order book. It's coming from Bitcoin. So Bitcoin has a lot of volume, has a lot of buyers, a lot of sellers, probably already market makers. So it looks very healthy. You have like nice volumes on both sides. So basically, if you want to buy, you will be able to match with someone who wants to sell easily, and the opposite is true as well. So I will do with the video. So you see when it starts here, the gray bars at the beginning. At the very beginning, you see that the gray lines, it's just like organic liquidity, and there is not so much liquidity, and it's a lot spread out. And so basically, if you want to buy, you will move the price a lot. If you want to sell, you will move the price a lot. And in violet, what you see in purple, what you see is a market maker coming in at some point and placing orders on both sides of the order book. And then what you see is not only the market maker is placing orders, but what happens is then you have more and more liquidity, because the organic traders, they will see the order of the market maker, and they will maybe like put themselves just before or just after the market maker. And so it will help them to like position themselves on the market. It will reassure them. So when you have a market maker, not only you have the volume from the market maker that is here, but you also have additional volume because it also propels the organic liquidity, and it's like a positive flywheel. So how market maker helps? And here I'm going to show you also like what a market maker does and what it doesn't, because there is also some misconceptions here. So on the left you have, okay, a market maker is supposed to quote, so to place limit orders on both sides of the book. He's almost never placing trades. He's almost always placing limit orders. He is also not only placing one order, but also like he's building depths. So you will have KPIs with the market maker, so that he puts maybe like $10,000 or $20,000 on each side of the book, so that if anyone wants to buy a few $1,000s, he can match with the market maker. The market maker is supposed to manage the inventory. So the inventory is basically the market maker will have some of your tokens, and we'll have also some USDT or USDC. And he's supposed to manage this and to manage the risk so that he doesn't lose too much of one or the other, and his own inventory is always balanced. And he should like report KPIs to show you like what the job is doing on each side, its uptime, etc. And we'll talk about this later. And finally, it can also help you get ready to list with exchanges, because usually it has some connections with them. It can like get you started and help you like have what you need to get listed. What a market maker doesn't do, like normally a market maker is not supposed to pump the price. He is not guaranteeing you any return. He is not supposed to affect the price. He's here to just support liquidity. And he shouldn't hide the results from you. So he should be transparent about what he's doing. It's not a magic box. Like he should exactly know what he's doing and what's happening. And also, he can't really guarantee you that he's going to list you on any exchange, because at the end of the day, it's the exchange who decides who lists or who doesn't list someone. So market makers that promise you listing usually are a bit lying, but they can definitely like put you in contact with the right person at the exchanges. And then another question is like often people think, oh, I need only market maker at the very beginning of the project. When then I get bigger that I don't need a market maker. Actually, you need market maker at different stage of your project. And actually, if you look at the top 10 or top 50 crypto, maybe there is only Bitcoin and Ethereum that don't have market makers, but all of them, all of the others for sure, they do work with market makers. So you need market maker pre-TGE, so before you list, because they will help you. Having the good practices and come up with a plan to list and have liquidity on the exchanges. So the earlier you involve a market maker with you, the better you will be prepared and reassured as well for the listing. Then they come in post-listing. What does that mean? It means that they will start trading, so they will start quoting on both sides, and they will reduce the volatility so that when you launch, you know, like if you have someone selling, it's not going to dump the price too much. Of course, if it's a reasonable sell, if the guy is selling like 1 million, of course, a market maker won't be able to do anything. But like for small sales, it will like reduce the volatility. It will reassure buyer and seller because they will see that if they want to exit, they can. If they want to come back in, they will be able to. So it's less frightening. If you go to a book, you see it's empty, you will be like, oh, maybe I'm not going to buy this coin because I don't know if I will be able to resell it later. And so it's a signal of credibility because people, when they see your tokens, they see that there is a healthy order book, so it looks credible. And then when you mature, when you start to have like millions of dollars of volume per day, you still need market maker because they will still be there with higher volume to support price action, to prevent like big jumps in prices. And also it will attract institutions because the more depth you have, the more the biggest portfolio will be able to come. Because usually like large institutions, they don't go to small tokens because they have too much money and they can't trade small tokens because it will move too much the price. But if you have a lot of liquidity on both sides, then larger institutions will say, oh, actually with 10 million volume, I can maybe start trading here. So you will attract bigger trader. And finally, usually market makers, they proposed some advanced tools for like foundations, but also for the founders, such as treasury management. So they could manage your treasury and give you yield on the treasury. They can do Lombard loans, which is like you could give them your token, but they will lend you some USD in return that you can spend. And also OTC execution, so if like founders want to start selling a bit the token, or your investors or people want to buy, they can execute for you so that it has less of an impact on the price, and like they can, let's say, like massage the orders into the market instead of just buying by chunks. And so how to judge it is working? I think there are 4 main KPIs. To meet the minimum, it's the spread. So usually when you sign a term sheet, you will sign for a spread, maybe like 1% or 0.5%, so the difference between the bid and the ask. You will also sign for like a top of book depth, so like how much liquidity they put on each side. So for example, $15K. So at all times, they will have $15K on both sides of the book. Of the uptime, like are they trading at 99% of the time or whatever. And if you quote on multiple exchanges, they will also be in charge of arbitraging between the exchanges so that the prices stay like the same between the exchanges. And all of this you should be able to track, so they should provide with a dashboard for you to be able to track it. So what are the common issues with market makers? I've listed a few. So sometimes they blend the KPIs, so they will do an average of all the exchanges you're listed on, and they will say, oh, on average we have this and this KPI, like this spread, or this top of book, which can actually hide problems on some places where they don't quote. Sometimes they only report for the volume, which is actually they don't even generate they are not supposed to generate volume, they are just supposed to be passive. They won't tell you like the spread, or they won't tell you like some of the KPIs. They will find excuses of, you know, oh, we have an imbalance in the portfolio now because they didn't manage to manage risk correctly. And they maybe won't be reactive enough to like some events, and so you won't get the feedback you would need. And this kind of small issue can snowball and cause liquidity issues. to our point of view, like liquidity should be a scoreboard and not a black box. So that's why we just launched a market making department to assist projects on their market making. And so it's not what we do yet, but it's our goal on the left, and it is like what the average market making does. So we propose like tracking for every KPI. So like for the spread, for the top of book depth, of the uptime. We have reporting that is a live dashboard. So it's a Grafana dashboard where you can see live what we are doing, as well as a monthly report that is more like with more metrics that you get with a PDF. And then we offer like other like continuous KPIs and some alerts as well. And then coming back to AO. The end goal of all of this is first we build it in Web 2 ways, so to quote on sex exchanges, but the goal is to build it as well on Perplex and to have like a AO market making process that will do the market making, for example, on Perplex, but why not on other exchanges, where you can deposit your own liquidity, and we will use your liquidity to do the market making on Perplex, and you will benefit from the yield generated by the market making. So the goal is really to decentralize market making at the end on Perplex. And I think it was the last slide. So thank you. And if you want to follow us, Perplex 5.